Hello students, welcome to English class. Today we are going to start a very amazing and interesting story which is very relevant to today's situation. And the name of the story is The Fun They Had by Isaac Asimov. Written by Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov actually was an American writer who always whose story is always related with science fiction. Whenever you read a story of Isaac Asimov, you will see that his stories deals with science fiction. It is related with science fiction. Okay, and the story that we are going to read today, that is very relevant to today's situation. Why I'm telling so? After reading this story, I must say that you will say that the fun we had in school, and I wish you will again can do fun in school. Okay. Now, before begin, I want to say that how many of you are missing school? I think the answer will be everyone, isn't it? Yes, I am too. Me too, missing the school and you people like you only. Now, yes, learning is still continuing, isn't it? By online, by your teachers. Okay, but we have having lots of fun in school. We are having friends. We are having amazing classrooms. Events, so many events, annual sports, you can say dance competition, music competition, and so many science exhibitions. Okay, so many events that we are going to miss for this pandemic situation. Apart from this, we can say that the aim of education is what? The entire development of a child, isn't it? So entire development means your personality development, means your moral development, your physical development, your social development. It is only possible when there is social mixing, and social mixing is only possible in schools, not at home, isn't it? So this story is dealt with such situation. This story is actually the starting of the story is in future. I told you now that after reading this story, you must say we had the fun we had in school. Okay, now the starting of the story is in future. Means in future. There could be a school, there may be a school, means not a real school. It is a school that is virtual school, you can say. Okay, means our robotic teacher will be there. Now I am teaching you in place of me, there will be a robotic teacher, you can say. Now this story is a life story. Okay, this story is a life story, or actually the story is all about school life. The story is all about school life and the fun and that we have in your school, that you have in your school, and it is all about those children who do not go to school, how they are going to miss the school. So that is what we are going to learn in this story. Actually, as I told you now, the setting of the story is the future. In future there may be such school, and see that the children who do not go to school, they will miss the school. They just you can say that they feel how they will feel that their ancestors at a time when they feel that their ancestor means present generation, that is you people. When you went to school, you have a lot of friends there. You sit together with your friends in the same class. You are sharing your thoughts. You are helping to each other in the same class or in the same campus. school campus, and you had a lot of fun. So in this story, in the end of the story, we come to know that this is a story of a little girl, very young girl, that is Margie. Margie, who was 11 years old, and it is her imagination only that when their sister used to go to school, they had, perhaps they had a lot of fun in the school. They had friends. They sit together. They can discuss they can discuss with their friends with about the topic, with the particular topic, or you can say they can share their thinking, they can share their thoughts with their teachers, with their friends, and they had a lot of fun. Perhaps they had a lot of fun. That is what she is thinking, that it is her imagination. And she is also wished that she might have such school, and she can go to school, such school. And after reading this story, you will get to know that yes, we are very much lucky, and we are in a, we can say that you are in lucky enough that you are having school. We also had school. We can go to school where we can meet with our friends. We can sit together in the same class. We can share our thoughts. We can help each other. We have a lot of fun in this school. Okay, now this is all about the story. Let's proceed to the story. Now, before we begin, let us introduce with the characters, main characters. Now, here the character is the setting of the story, as I told you, the future. Okay, and Margie is the main character of the story. Okay, she was 11 years old, and Tommy was Margie's friend, who was 13 years old, and we get to know another character, that is Count Inspector. His appearance is a round little man with red face, and he's with whole box of dials and wires, means who will come to repair Margie's computer. Now, then we will introduce with a character, that is Mrs. Jones, that is Margie's mother, and a robotic teacher. Now I am teaching you, no, but in future maybe such a school will be there, that students might learn in through computers, and instead of a human being as a teacher, there will be a robotic teacher. That is what our writer told about. Now see, let's move on to the text. Now, the story we shall read is set in the future. That is what I told you earlier also. When books and schools as we now know them will perhaps not exist. How will children study then? Now, the story, the setting of the story, as I told, the school of future. Maybe in future there may be such school. Maybe there will be no. Maybe there no school will be there. It could be happen that there will be no books. Only e-books will be there. Students can learn only through computers. Okay, and. How now? How the author is telling how at that time how these children, those children who do not go to school, how they will learn, how they will get, you can say how they will read, how they will study themselves. Now that is what given in the diagram below. The diagram below may give you some ideas. The children in present situation, you people are going to school, and you have a real school, but when there will be no school, no books, then how these children will study, we will see it in the diagram given below. Let us see the diagram. Okay, first of all, these children will learning through computers. The children will learning from where? Through computers, right? Now there will be virtual classes. Now here it is written School of Future. It is in your book. You can see the image of the book. School of Future. First of all, learning through computers. Children will learn from where? Learning through computers. Now there will be virtual classes. Virtual class means each child will sitting in at home in their own room, and in front of them there will be a computer, and through computer they will teach everything. Means this is not a real classroom. This is called a virtual classroom. This world is created by computer. Okay. Now there will be robotic teacher. Now who is a robotic teacher? There may be robotic teacher. Now in place of me, or in place of your teacher, there may be robotic teacher. He could have pre-program for a particular topic, that is the robotic teacher will going to teach you. Okay. And then he could have pre-program for it, and he will teach you in this way according to the pre-program of the particular topic. Now moving text. Moving text here means though these children will going to learn through computers, in computers there will be no book exists. Now as we are having these books, no such type of book. Now it is written, it is in printed, it is written in the format of printed paper. Okay. But here the author is telling there will be moving e-text, means there will be e-books, means in the computer screen that text will be keeps on moving, isn't it? There will not there will be no words that will be stuck. Okay. The text will be keeps on moving on the screen of the computer, correct? Now the author is telling now how this children will feel that when they get to know that their ancestors used to go to school, they had a classroom of their own. They sit together in the classroom with their friends. They share their thoughts with their friends together. Now how they will, now that time what will be their feelings. Okay, that is what we are going to learn in this poem. We get to know in this in this story, correct? Now let's start. Now see, Maggie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17th May 2157, she wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." Now Maggie, the main character of our story, Maggie, that she writes in her diary about the day, that is 17th May 2157. I told you now the setting of the story is future. Now we are living in the age of 2020. Now we are in the year that is 2020. Now almost and here Maggie is writing in her diary on 17th May 2157, perhaps 1.5 century, about, you can say, 140 years from now. Okay. Now see, now that day Maggie writes in her diary that Tommy found a real book. Tommy is Maggie's friend. Now he found a real book. Now see, now he's telling in her diary she wrote that on 17th May 2157, on that day Tommy found a real book. Now such books means such book the children were very much astonished, very much strange after getting such a book, because in their era they used to use e-books. Okay, not the printed paper. And the book that Tommy got is a real book, means it is written in the format of printed on a paper. Okay, in a format of printing, the book that we have today. Okay, now this book, after getting this, they become strange. because they are not habituated to read such a book. Okay, for that it's one kind, it's a sort of history, you can say. So they cannot believe such thing, they can imagine only, isn't it? So this makes them very much astonished, very much strange, because they are not habituated of seeing such a book. Okay, now it was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. Now he is telling it was a very old book. It was a book that was used in ancient time, and because in their time they used to use the e-books. Okay, now Margie's grandfather. Now Margie is reminding about her grandfather, because her grandfather used to tell that his grandfather used to go to school and use such kind of book, that is the book that is written in the format of printing on a paper. Okay, now means Margie's grandfather's grandfather. Okay, Margie's grandfather's grandfather used to go to school and he was having that sort of book. Now for the children, this kind of book is a sort of history for them. They cannot believe in such a books, they can imagine only, isn't it? Now see next, now here when they turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awful funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, you know. Now see, they turn the pages. When they are turning the pages of that particular book, now they all have, both of them have seen that the pages of the book were yellow and crinkly. Means yellow means the book was so old, that's why shades become yellow. And crinkly here means with many folds. Crinkly. Okay. Crinkly here means, here it is given in your book, crinkly is with many folds or lines. Means something that is crushed. Crinkly here means crinkly here means something that is crushed, you can say. Something that is crushed. That is, I means that is. Crinkly means something that is crushed. As the book is very old, that's why its pages become crushed. Now see, it was awful funny to read words that stood still. What do you mean by stood still, that word? Stood still means they are habituated of reading e-books. What happened to the e-books? E-books, the text in the computer screen, the text keep on changing, isn't it? But in the book that Tommy got was a printed book. Okay, here same story. If you turn the page, same story will come. Means the words were stuck on there. But whenever you use the computer, when you are using the e-books, the text keeps on moving, isn't it? Now you people can make out the situation here. Means you can understand both the situation, because you are having the books that are written in the format of printing on a paper, and you are having the e-books too. Okay, now you can say that here so you can make out the situation that in the book that is written in the that is the format, or that is written in the format of printing, the same story will come. If you flip the pages, if you turn the pages, the same story will come over there. And in the e-book, you will sit in front of a computer and the text will moving, keeps on moving, keeps on changing, and you can see at a time you can see several stories. You will get to know about several facts. Okay, but in the printed book, what happens? What is the difference between both books? In the printed book, you have the same story. The words are stuck on it, and if you turn the pages, if once we flipped over the pages, you will get to see the same story, same thing, again and again. But in the e-books, what happened? The text keeps on moving, keeps on changing at a time. Sitting in front of a computer, we can see several stories, several facts. Okay, that is what the children are talking about, that the words are stood still. Okay. Now and then when they turn back on the pages before, it had the same words on it and that it had when they read it the first time. That is what they are telling, that when we flipped over the pages, the same thing was there as we have seen earlier. It's the same thing come again and again. Okay, that is what the children are telling. Now, say Tommy, what a waste. When you are through with the books, you just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had a million books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away. Now they say means Tommy doesn't like this book. Why? Because they are habituated of reading, studying through computer, through e-books. Okay, where the text keeps on changing. Now for him this book is a waste. Okay, this book is a waste. Why? Means once you read the story, once you completed the story, what you will going to do? You will throw it, because you will not get to see another story there. The same story will be repeating again and again. But in the e-books, for him e-books is the best. Why? Because you are sitting in front of a computer, when you are typing, you will get to see the text are moving, keeps on changing, and you will get to see several stories, several facts at a time, isn't it? So he is telling one should throw it after reading the story, because the same story you have to see every day. That is the printed. Now means Tommy is comparing the printed book with the e-books. For him, printed book is a waste, and once we just read it, once we completed it, we should throw it, because we'll get to see, we will not able to get to see a new thing on it. Whereas in it, whereas in the e-books we will get to see several stories at a time, because the text keeps on changing. We will not get bored. Okay, that is what Tommy's opinion. Now same with me, mine, said Margie. Now Margie is telling same with my situation is like that. I am also fond of e-books. Okay, whatever Tommy's opinion, she's agree with it. Why? She was 11 and hadn't seen as many textbooks as Tommy had. He was 13. Now here the author is telling that as Margie was younger than Tommy, because Margie was 11 years old and Tommy was 13 years old. So means Margie, Tommy, as Tommy was senior to her, that means he had seen several books rather than Margie had seen. Correct? She said, "Where did you find it?" Now Margie is asking to Tommy, where he just where he found this book. "In my house," he pointed without looking, because he was busy reading in the attic. Now what is the meaning of attic? A space just before the roof, used as a storeroom. Now attic here means The a space just before, just below the what is the meaning of attic? The you can say the a space just before, a space just before, just below the roof. That is the storeroom. Means in the on the topmost part of their house there was a storeroom, and Tommy found this book there only. Okay. Now what is about? Now again Margie is asking, what is it about? What was written in the book? Because she had seen that that time Tommy was busy with reading. Now he was just he actually he did not make his glance from this book because he was busy with reading. That's why Margie is asking what is about. What is it about? That you are not looking. You are just you did not make a glance from this book. Now see what is about school. Now Tommy is answering her that this book deals with, this book is regarding about the school life, that about the real school. Okay, now Margie was scornful. Scornful means contemptuous. Okay, showing you think something worthless. Means you can see you can write it that scornful means you can say that something. Scornful here means you can say that something you dislike, you are showing dislike for something, you can say that scornful, SCORN, scornful, showing dislike for something. Okay, showing dislike for something. Here it is written contemptuous, showing you think something is worthless. Now you can say that showing dislike for something. Okay, that is scornful. School, what is there to write about school? I hate school. Now Margie is telling that what is this to write about school? Okay, now she was a girl that who hate school. Okay, who hated school. So she couldn't find a valid reason why one can write the entire book about school life. It becomes for her it is a strange thing to write about school because she disliked her school. She did not like her school. She hated her school. Now why she disliked her school? That is what we are going to learn now. Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. Now we got the county inspector. No. Now Margie always hated school. Margie was a girl who always hated school. Why? Because now she is telling that she hated school. She hated that mechanical teacher. Means what type of school Margie was? Margie was a virtual school, virtual classroom, and teacher was a robotic teacher. Now she hated this type of school. Why? Because in her opinion, this school always given her test in geography, and she is performing very bad day by day. That is why she disliked the school. She all the time she has to answer, and she is performing bad right now. That's why she disliked her school, and she couldn't get a valid reason why this entire book is written about school life. Okay. Now her mother, now finally what her mother did, she called a count inspector to check the computer. Finally she felt that maybe there is some difficulties there or disturbance there, that's why she called a count inspector. Count inspector is a man who come for checking the computer. Okay. Now he was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Now Margie was giving the appearance of the count inspector. How he looks like? He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. As he is coming for checking the computer, so he must have some carry some box, and that is dealing with dials and wires. Now what he did at first, he greeted Margie and gave her an apple. Okay, then took here, who is the teacher? Mechanical teacher. And who is the mechanical teacher? The machine, the computer. Okay. Now Margie had hoped he wouldn't know how to put it together again, but he knew how all right. And after an hour or so, there it was, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. Okay, now Margie just wished that as county inspector took away that machine. Now Margie just wishes that he could be unable to close it again. It is Margie's wish. Okay, but the man was an expert. Okay, within an hour he repaired the machine. Okay, now again Margie is just give the appearance of the computer. What is the appearance? She just called it a large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. She just describing the appearance of the computer, that it has having a large screen where all the questions are there for her. Every time the same screen, lots of questions were asked to her, and she was performing worse or bad and day by day. That is why she just dislikes such type of machine, such type of teachers, and such type of virtual classes, and that's why she is giving such descriptions of the computer. That is her virtual school, or you can say virtual classroom. That wasn't so bad. The part Margie hated most was the slot, where she had to put homework. Now here, slot. What is a slot? You can say that slot is a particular area. Slot, a particular area of a computer where you can enter your homework or test paper. Okay. Okay, now his slot here means giving space, time or position. Now here slot means a particular area of a computer where they used to enter the homework or test papers. Now they have to give test, okay, a lot of tests, and they have to enter on that particular area. Now here the author is telling, or Margie is telling, she disliked the virtual class as well as the computer, means her school, she hated her school, and especially she hates that area, that is slot, where she has to put her homework or test papers, correct? Because she has to give lots of uh, tests over there, and she has to enter in this particular, that's why. But especially that area, that specific area, she dislikes most, she dislikes most. Okay, she always had to write them out in a punch code. Now what is a punch code? You can say punch code. Punch code. What is a punch code? Computing language. You can say computing language. What is a punch code? Computing language. Okay. Now punch code, they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in on time. Now she is telling that she has to enter her homework and test papers in the slot area. That is why she disliked this part of the computer. Now here she is telling that she always had to write them in a punch code. Now she has to write in the computer using a particular language. What is that? This is called a punch code. Punch code means a computing language. She has to write in a specific language, in a particular language, and this is called computing language or punch code. And she had learned it when she was 6 years old. She was in a very young age. She learned it. She had learned it. Learned this punch code, means computing language. Okay. Now, when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in on, and after that, mechanical teacher, that computer, checked over this one, checked over his test papers, and they calculated the marks, and within a few time they have given the she got her result. Okay, she is just describing it in this way. Okay, now the inspector, move on to the next para. The inspector, here the inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's hand. Now here the inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's hand. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault." Mrs. Jones, here Mrs. Jones is Mrs. Jones was the mother of Margie. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. Okay, now she is telling little too quick. Now the inspector, within an hour, he closed the computer and he just repaired it very well, and after finishing his work, he is to tell that he just again patted Margie to cheer her up, and after this the county inspector told Mrs. Jones, that is Margie's mother, that it is not the fault of the little girl, it is the fault of the computer. And he just added that sometimes it happens, sometimes machine do wrong works also. Okay, now what he did for that, I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. As we learned earlier that she was performing very bad in geography, that's why the counter inspector checked the geography sector, the portion where geography question used to come. Okay, now he is telling that geared here means adjusted to a particular standard or level. Geared here means adjusted to a particular standard or level. Now he is telling that as Margie was performing bad in geography, it is not the fault of the little girl, it is the fault of the machine, because she was only 11 years old, and according to him that he means here adjusting of the geography sector was little bit higher than her age. That's why she just sat it in a very right position now. Okay, that is what the county inspector told her mother. Now, those things happen sometimes. I have showed it up to an average 10 years level. Now he sat it in the 10 years level. Now he slow up to 10 years level. Means he sat the level in her age because it was higher than her age. Now he has make it okay. Okay. I have showed it up to an average 10 years level. Actually, the overall pattern of our progress is quite satisfactory. He also added that the overall performance of the girl was correct, exact. But overall performance of the girl was very good. And he patted Margie's hat again. And after saying this, he patted Margie to cheer her up. Okay. Margie was disappointed. But at that time, Margie was very sad. Why? Because he just disliked the virtual class and that virtual machine. She had been hoping that would take the teacher away together. Altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. Now Margie was sad. Why she was sad? She did not want to study from this machine. She just disliked this machine. Why? Because it had always given her several questionnaires and she had to answer it. Okay, and she want what did she want? She want that the machine should be taken by the county inspector, taken out for a long time. Okay, and in that country she is telling that they had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out. Here blanked out here means blanked out means had been erased, or you can say wiped out. Or had been erased. Blanked out means erased. Now she is on that contrary, she is also reminding about Tommy's computer. Tommy's computer means once it had been taken away for a month and it was having a problem and it was taken by the county inspector for a month because and at that time he was enjoying his time because he had nothing to do. He had nothing to study. That's why. And and Margie did not. The mechanical teacher did not have any actually why it was taken out because the mechanical teacher of that portion, that what is it, the history portion, the mechanical teacher or of that portion have no memory there. That portion means in the history portion the memory of the mechanical teacher was blanked out, was erased, was not there. That's why it was taken to be repaired. Okay, for a long time. And Margie wished that her computer also she just wished that if her one also taken out for a long time, she could have enjoyed just like Tommy did at the time when his computer taken out for a long time. Okay, now we come to know why she dislikes school. Now you can say that this is the reason, that because she was not having the real school. She was not habituate of going to a real school. Her school was confined to her house, to her own house. She has to sit in front of a computer. Through computer she has to learn. Now you must be thinking that the way I am also teaching, it's a virtual class only. No, no, no. You are having online classes, but in addition to this, you are going to school. Means not you are going to school right now, but I wish that you will go to school, and you know what is the fun of school. Okay, and you are habituate of that fun, you had enjoyed a lot. I know that you enjoyed a lot in school, because in school you are having friends, and you can sit all together, you can feel, you can helping to each other, you are habituated helping to each other, you are sharing your thoughts with your teacher. So in addition to online classes, you are having such experience. For Margie, it was just opposite. She was not having to go to school, okay, to have fun. That it is just like she couldn't believe also that this type of she can only imagine such type of school. That's why she dislikes such type of school. Okay, so this is all for today's class. Next class we will going to read the next part of this story. Okay, stay home, stay safe, sanitize yourself from time to time. Thank you.